Hi, my name is Barry Sterling Mitchell. I produce the Sterling Net Point Power Rankings and the Bias Plus Reports. Today is October 15th, 2025, and this is Ben and Barry on football.
How you doing out there, everybody? This is Ben Dickerson. I am your co-host. It is week 7. Things are getting very, very interesting. Some of these division matchups, these teams are beating each other to death, man. This is going to be a really good stretch to mid-season.
Tell me about it. I was 50% last week with the Bias Plus reports
I was 60.
on the nose, and the last two on that doubleheader Monday night did in the end. That's I would have been pretty good. It had either one of those two games gone in the direction, but that's what you call an upset, man. I believe the Bears was an upset, and I'll let you talk about that. And the other game, whoo, man, was that an upset? Jeez. So let's get ready to kick it off. Now we have a Thursday night game to start everything off with. We have the Steelers at the Bengals, Benny. Bias plus score of 24.1 favors the Steelers. Let me just say, the Bias plus reports are the report that I produce from the Sterling Net Point Power Rankings, where we're looking at net point comparisons and turnover differential comparisons between the two teams. And we use a calculation to come to what we call a bias plus score, and it will favor one team or the other. If you think about it in terms of net points, if I'm winning by an average of 25 points and Ben's team is winning by an average of 5, the difference is 20, and it would favor the team with the higher number of net points. That's just the basics of it. In this particular case, favors the Steelers by a pretty good amount there, Benny.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. That's a pretty good amount. Let's see what we got here. Bengals get to play at home. Steelers on the road. Steelers are 4-1. They're sitting comfortably at the top of the mess that is the AFC North.
Yeah.
After a couple of close wins, they easily cruised by Cleveland, and this one is 23-9. They had a balanced offense and a run dominant defense. And we know with all the problems that Cleveland's having at quarterback, the one thing they did kind of have going for them was a pretty good run game with Quinshon Judkins, but that got taken care of in this particular game. So that was tough on them. They get to play the Bengals. The Bengals got all kinds of problems, obviously, that we know. They are 2-4. They're struggling. They made a desperate trade to get quarterback Joe Flacco. Then in the first game they put him out there, he had to throw the ball 45 times. They're going to struggle against anybody with a run defense, and their particular defense can't seem to even get off the field. It's crazy. This one, I'm going to have to say, is pretty much a no-brainer for me. I got to go with the Steelers, even on the road.
All right. Going with the bias, going with the Steelers. Yeah, them Bengals are a mess, man. I don't know what the heck them guys are doing. All right. The next game we start our Sunday morning off, Benny. Rams at Jaguars in Wembley Stadium. And the bias plus score, although the Jaguars, well, no, that's it. The bias plus score 1.4 actually favors the Jaguars, Benny. Really close, but it does favor the Jags.
Yeah, that's the early game. Again, didn't I ask you last week? Are we getting an overseas game like every week?
No, you asked me if we were going to get doubleheader on
The
Monday
Monday
night.
night double headers, right? These are just I'm like another one. You
I
know what I mean?
know.
But anyway, and now I noticed this last year, the Jaguars go a lot
Yeah,
from
it's like
from
second
day
home for the
one.
Jaguars.
Yeah, from day one when they started doing this, the Jaguars have been going every single year. But anyway, Rams are on the road. Got to go to Jacksonville. They're four
No,
and two.
they're all going to be at
Uh,
Wembley Stadium.
yeah. Uh, Last week they had a lot of self-inflicted wounds in the first half of their game against the Ravens, and the Ravens really didn't put up much of a fight. Any struggles they had, the Rams created them for themselves. But even after they got themselves together, they had a really bad problem because Puka Nacua got hurt. Puka Nacua, in my estimation, is, just so I won't get yelled at, I'll say top three, but a lot of people arguably say he's the best receiver in the league at this moment. Anyway, he's going to be out. He's got a foot injury. I don't know how bad it is. We don't start getting the real injury reports until tomorrow. The defense has been up and down, but they've been mostly up, especially their pass rush. The Rams' pass rush is for real. And Matthew Stafford is easily a top 5 quarterback so far this season. I'll argue with anybody about that. Now, the Jaguars, who will be home, lost a tough one last week to Seattle, 20-12. But they're 4-2. They're still leading the league in interceptions, and they're top 10 in forced fumbles and fumble recovery. So as long as they keep taking the ball away like that, that's going to keep them in games and give them opportunities to win. Unfortunately, they couldn't take the ball away from the Seahawks, so they lost that game. For all the ones that they have, they didn't take any away in that game. I like the Rams. I'm trying to decide if I really like them that much on the road. They're not really turnover prone. I'm going to go against the bias and take the Rams on this one.
Okay, all right. So the one thing I thought about, remember we had the article where the one team appealed to the NFL to allow them to leave an hour early because of the time difference. So I can imagine if the Rams have to, go across the United States and then across the pond, where the Jaguars are right there at the water, that they would get there a little early. But yeah, not sure how that all works. In any event, you're going against the bias, Benny, on a Sunday morning, and you're going with the Rams over the Jaguars, eh?
Yes, I am.
All right. What's up next? I guess we'll kick into the 1 o'clock games. Let's start with Panthers at Jets. Bias plus score 7.5 favors the Panthers. You got to watch some Panthers, man. I'll tell you.
Yeah, Carolina, their main issue is defense. But they beat Dallas, who has the same main issue, defense. And they won the game 30-27. Every time I get down on Bryce Young, and I was a Bryce Young supporter early this season, I really thought he was going to carry some good momentum over. I know I said that many times, but I was starting to get a little shaky on him. Then he comes back and he shows me some really good flashes. So I'm going to hang in there with Bryce and hope that he continues to get better. Rico Dowdle is a major factor in the run game, which is a tremendous help to Young. So if they can keep that going, yes, buckle up. Buckle them chin straps. If they can keep that going, that's going to be a big plus for Bryce Young. Now, the Jets lost to the Broncos over in London last week, 13-11. It was an ugly win for Denver, but an even uglier loss for the Jets. They are now 0-6. Justin Fields is still struggling to throw the ball against decent secondaries. The defense can't stop the run, cannot stop the run, and they can't get pressure on the quarterback either. So they're pretty much a mess. I'm going to go with the Panthers to beat the Jets on the road. Big road win for the Panthers.
Going with the bias. 7.5. It's about a touchdown. Going with the Panthers. Dolphins at Browns, Benny. Dysfunction at dysfunction. Last plus score of 5.6, however, favors the Dolphins. Will we see Shador?
I doubt it.
You doubt
it? I doubt it. 1-5 Dolphins had a chance to take the Chargers out last week at home, but ultimately they got outplayed in the end and they lost 29-27. They stayed close thanks to a strong performance by Devon Achane. But as usual, they struggled in the red zone and they turned the ball over, so you can't win like that. The Browns are also 1-5. They lost to Pittsburgh 23-9. Didn't have a chance like the Dolphins did. Without their run game going, which it was not, they have basically nothing. Dylan Gabriel had to throw the ball 52 times. He is clearly not built for that. On top of that, he only completed 29 of them. 29 of 52. That's basically horrible. Not to mention he got sacked 6 times. So they couldn't run the ball, nor could they protect Dylan Gabriel. It's pretty obvious that stopping the run should be the game plan for everybody playing the Browns the rest of the way. The only thing is, I'm not sure the Dolphins are going to have much success stopping the Browns' running attack. But Devin Achane's better than Quinshon Judkins. I got to go with the bias and go with the Dolphins on this one.
All right. Giving them a chance, eh?
A chance for Achane or A-Chain, whatever the heck his name is.
That was pretty corny, Barry, but okay.
Yeah, it was. I'll let you slide on that one.
Saints at Bears. This should be fun. Bias plus score of 10.1 favors the Bears. And now that the Saints have their what do they call it? The multi-bladed knife.
The what?
What's the guy that plays quarterback and tight end and everything for them?
Taysom Hill?
Taysom's back.
Oh boy. The Swiss Army knife, is that what you're trying to say?
That's what I was trying to say.
Oh, man, you're horrible, man.
I know. Great parts left and right. However, 10.1, Benny, favoring the Bears.
10.1. Bears won a come-from-behind road game in Washington, a toughie, and they had to go to Washington last year. They lost on a Hail Mary. Remember that? I bet you a lot of those guys remembered that game. But they went back to Washington. They pulled out the victory 25-24 on Monday night. They were helped by 3 defensive takeaways, which is always great. And the winning field goal was made by the kicker, Jake Moody, ex-49er, who replaced injured Cairo Santos. Now, head coach Ben Johnson is slowly but surely turning Caleb Williams into a viable NFL quarterback. Not to mention DeAndre Swift is providing pretty good support on the ground, and the defense hasn't been great, but they have been somewhat opportunistic. I still don't really believe in that defense, though, unfortunately. Now, the Saints, another 1-5 team, they got to go on the road to Chicago. Their home loss to New England showed a not very special run game. Even though they have Kamara, things just ain't the same over there. And they have an inefficiency in getting to the red zone, let alone producing touchdowns. Tough situation for the Saints. I got to go with the Bears and the bias at home for a 2-game win streak.
2-game win streak. Yeah, you can see some advancement for Caleb, you know.
He's looking better. He's looking better.
The advancement for Caleb compared to the advancement for Fields is an interesting comparison because Fields doesn't look like he's getting better, and Caleb looked like he's starting to understand, you know, how to operate that offense. He's got all the talents necessary to do it. They're both very talented. So, all right, you going with the bias, going with the Bears. Patriots at Titans. This is a nice size bias, 17.6 favoring the Patriots. Benny, we know those Titans are struggling, and now the new coach has to come up and mess with those Patriots, and I'm liking them Patriots, man. I like May. Ooh, man.
Yeah, I'm going to make an announcement right here in case anybody out there hasn't realized it yet. Drake May is a bona fide NFL quarterback, and I liked him coming out of the draft. I thought he was going to be good. I didn't think he was going to be this good this soon, but guess what? Here he comes. When you look at his numbers right now, he's right up there with some of the best guys so far this season. I don't know if he'll be able to stay up there, but he's up there right now, and he's showing what he's worth.
I'm telling you.
Patriots defeated the Saints 25-19 in New Orleans, and they are now 4-2. Big time for the Patriots, a team that really struggled over the last couple of years.
And first place,
also, excuse me?
And first place because they beat the other 4 and 2.
First place in the division, having beaten Buffalo head-to-head. Still got another game to go later on in the season. Here's the big deal for me. They're undefeated on the road.
Wow.
Very nice. Now, the defense is a stingy bunch. They're not among the top teams in sacks or creating turnovers, but when it comes to giving up points, that's a different story. They're very stingy, very, very stingy. Now, unfortunately, we got to talk about the Titans, okay? There's not a lot of good to say about the Titans. They got smacked around by the Raiders 20-10. Game wasn't as close as the score may indicate. Head coach Brian Callahan was fired on Monday afternoon, very next day after the game. I believe the interim coach is like the assistant offensive coordinator or something like that. Anyway, whoever takes this job permanently will have their hands full with an offensive line that doesn't seem to be very good at run blocking or pass protection. They don't have a heck of a lot going for them at all. So this one's pretty much a no-brainer for me. Got to go Patriots.
Gotta go with the Pats, Benny. Yeah, for sure, for sure. They're looking good, man. Drake May is really looking good. I'm telling you. All right. And then they got what? Ramondre Stevenson and who's the other guy running back?
Ravion Henderson.
Oh my God. Just burners. Burners. Whew. Uh-oh. Truth time. Eagles at Vikings. Bias plus score of 2.6. Benny favors the Vikings. Could Carson Wentz be going in as a favorite against his old team?
It could possibly happen.
It's a possibility.
Yeah, let's talk about those 4-2 Eagles. You look at 4-2, you say, what's the problem? I picked the Eagles to beat my Giants last week simply because they just seem to be the better team. However, I did warn whoever would listen, which living in Philly doesn't go over too well, that the blueprint to beat them is out there. It's definitely out there. Denver confirmed it. Just look at the film. Sure enough, my Giants came in, followed the formula with a little help from the Eagles themselves, and didn't just beat them, but took all the fight out of them in the process. Now, the Vikings are coming off the bye. Last time we saw them, they were solid on both sides of the ball in a win over Cleveland. The starting quarterback has yet to be named. And since I last checked, J.J. McCarthy, who I believe originally was out with a high ankle sprain, now they're talking about his foot is still bothering him a little bit. So he's probably getting better from the ankle sprain, but he still has a problem with his foot. He has gone back to practice. I don't know if he practiced in full today. We'll find out the true injury report tomorrow on Thursday. Carson Wentz, who's been starting, is also having some problems. He's got an injury to his non-throwing shoulder. So his injury isn't as bad as JJ's is. But if JJ comes back and he's able to put in the practice time, he'll get the start. If he doesn't, Carson will be out there. Wow. Vikings got the buys. Vikings are at home. Vikings are coming off the bye. Vikings head coach is a real good. I'm taking the Vikings. I'm going with the bias.
And it's funny because everybody's replaying Eagles plays now. They're running the same play, same formation, same play. However, the one thing I will say, if Hurts hits a couple passes that he just blatantly missed, the one he just blatantly overthrew the guy, he's wide open. And then the one with AJ going down the middle, he throws a pick on the outside. He hit either one of those two passes, offense looks completely different.
They
So,
still lose, though.
well, maybe so, but the offense, looks like it's an offense and looks like he has some passing capability. So I can understand going with the Vikings. This is a close score, under a field goal, 2.6 favoring the Vikings. Raiders at Chiefs. Bias plus score of 18.5 favors the Chiefs. I told you those Chiefs was getting their act together there, Benny.
No doubt. Who are we going to talk about first? 2-4 Raiders are going to have to go on the road. They gave up 40 points to the Colts and the Commanders in games earlier this season. And then they went bananas on Tennessee. At least their defense did. They beat the crap out of them cats and ended up winning the game 20-10. The problem is they gave up 40 to the Colts and 41 to the Commanders early in the season. So there's a good chance they'll do that again against the Chiefs. The Chiefs haven't looked like the Chiefs very often this season, but in their home victory over the Lions, who I picked the Lions, they reminded everybody how good they can be, and they're still not at full strength. That's crazy. This is week 7, right?
Yeah.
That means Rashee Rice is off his suspension.
He'll
So
be
they get
back.
another receiver back. Worthy's back healthy. He's taking the weight off of Hollywood Brown, who's looking better, scoring a touchdown or two every game. Rashee Rice is back in business. Ooh, even Kelsey. You notice Kelsey, when he catches passes, seems to be wide open.
Wide open and then slippery for another 10 yards.
Yeah. So that what that tells you is the defense comes out and goes, speed, 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 juju, oh snap. And then Kelsey's wide open. It's crazy.
And what's the other running back name?
Which one? Kareem Hunt or
Kareem
Pacheco?
Hunt. No. Kareem Hunt, the power back.
Yeah, well, it's funny. The more powerful runner is also the third down back because he catches the ball better.
Okay. Well, Kareem Hunt, I've always liked Kareem Hunt,
Yeah.
So he can do a little bit of it all. So yeah, they got weapons for sure. They got weapons. There is and I'll just say this real quick. There is a report out supposedly of a study that I could not corroborate the study that says that the refs favor the Chiefs. So we shall see. We shall see. But I could not. I looked for that study and I could.
So
It was one of those things that came down my Facebook timeline.
yeah.
And I don't put it out and everything until I check it out. I know that's a common belief, but
It's a common belief among fans because let's face it, it's just like when the Patriots were running the table on everybody. You get a team that wins a lot. When a team wins a lot, it just seems like everything's going their way like all the time. And it's hard to believe that everything goes one team's way a lot all the time. So people start looking for stuff. Sometimes there's stuff there. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes something that's not really anything looks like something. And I'll tell you, for instance, this past game, the Chiefs didn't commit any penalties. Excuse me.
Zero.
I'm not going to say they didn't commit any. They didn't get called for
They
any.
didn't get called for any.
Okay. So that's rare in itself.
Right. Right.
It's kind of crazy. But I got to give a shout out to DC Steve Spagnuolo for his scheming up a defense to hold the Detroit offensive machine to only 17 points.
No.
Gotta give it to him. Spags is still in his bag.
Shit.
Oh, by the way, I'm taking the Chiefs to win.
However, I did not understand the when they called back Goff's touchdown. He caught the touchdown, and it's illegal formation or something. Did you understand what was illegal about the formation?
I remember watching the replay. I don't think I had the sound up, but I heard somebody mention it on the radio, so I knew what play it was. At first, I thought it was two people moving at the same time, but if they called it an illegal formation, there's a chance that somebody that should have been on the line either wasn't on the line, or somebody that should have been off the line wasn't off the line. But I'll have to look at it again. But usually that's usually the case.
Because they took points off the board on that thing, man.
Yeah, basically it was the Philly special, right?
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of. Like a screen to the. No, it was more like a screen because he had a blocker out there. You
Yeah,
know?
but they've run that before. I've seen them run that play before.
Yeah, yeah.
So if somebody's in motion at the snap, nobody else can be moving. Like if somebody like steps out or turns one way or something while that guy's in motion, they're not set for a full second before the ball snap. Yeah, they're going to call that.
All right. Well, in any event, they should be able to handle the Raiders, who are now headed by their quarterback, whose new name is Gene. I had to throw that joke back in. All right. Colts at Chargers. Bias plus score 16.7 favors the Colts. And the skinny on the Colts that I keep hearing is that they haven't really played a lot of really tough teams yet. So they built a lot of points and they built a lot of defensive stuff on teams that aren't exactly playoff contenders. What do you think?
Yeah, you could look back at their schedule and say that's kind of true. I'm not going to say that's a falsehood, okay, but they are 5-1, and they have looked damn good.
Yeah. I mean,
So
if you're
I
gonna
don't
beat
care if
the
they're
rest of the teams.
yeah, I don't care if they're playing Cardinal Docker. You know, they look good, man. They look like they got everything going for them. And let's not forget Shane Steichen. Well, let me get to him later. Anyway, the Colts came from behind to beat the Cardinals 31-27. Same basic formula they've been using. Solid defense, better than average pass rush, and Daniel Jones running Shane Steichen's offense, making the big plays at the big moments, along with a punishing, and I do mean punishing, running attack. Jonathan Taylor is a road grader, as they say.
Sure.
Now, let's not forget who Shane Steichen is, offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles when they won the Super Bowl. Okay, this man knows offense, and he's taking Daniel Jones with the skills that the Giants originally saw but couldn't unlock because they had so many other issues. He has now unlocked those skills and turned Danny Dimes into Danny Dollars, Indiana Jones, whatever you want to call him. Looks great. So as they start to get into the tougher part of their schedule, we'll see what happens. But if people want to throw a little shade at them for their schedule so far, so be it. We'll see what happens. But my money's still on those guys. Now the Chargers lost a 26-13 lead to the Dolphins in the fourth quarter of their game with Miami. But Justin Herbert led them back to a 29-27 win. So that was a pretty close game, pretty exciting. I would have preferred for the Chargers not to have had to work as hard to beat a team like Miami that I think is pretty much in disarray. But anyhow, they did have to, but they did pull out the victory. Their defense has been a bit challenged this season, but offensively, they replaced the rookie running back starting with another rookie running back and didn't seem to miss a beat as far as their running attack was concerned. I was a little worried about those guys because the running back that started after Omarion Hampton got injured. I think he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. But the other guy's name, I believe, is Vidal. I do not know him. I don't even remember what college he went to, but the kid looked damn impressive. So, and Justin Herbert, he did what he had to do when he had to do it. So that got him the victory. And he is the one guy that is able to do that. The Colts are going on the road against the Chargers. This sounds like a trap game for me, for the Colts. But I believe in them. So I'm going to go with them. I'm going to stick
Yeah,
with the Colts.
this seems like you used to call it a trap game. I'm just calling it one of the first real tests, a real test for them
Okay.
that I'm looking forward to. Okay, 16.7 favoring the Colts. Benny's going with the bias, going with the Colts. Uh-oh, Benny. Your New York Football Giants at the team that you really think is one of the better teams out there, the Denver Broncos, by a score of 9.6. Favors those Broncos, Benny.
That would be correct. The Giants completely, and I do mean completely, dismantled the Philadelphia Eagles in front of a bunch of their own deliriously happy fans and a multitude of green jerseys who were shocked and confused looking by the time that thing was over. As a Giants fan, I have to hope my guys can build some positive momentum from that. And kind of keep it going. We will see, and we will see soon enough against a team that I think has a really, really good defense. Now, I was trying to get this together in my mind because I read this. It said that immediately after their Week 5 win over the Eagles, the Broncos left right from there and went to London for their game last week against the Jets. So it seems like they didn't want to make them leave the East Coast, go back. Wait, the game was in Philly, right? Yeah,
Uh,
it was. Excuse me?
it was, you guys were home.
No. I'm talking about the Eagles game with the Broncos.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was in Philly. I believe it was Philly.
So they didn't want to make them go back home from Philly and then fly from Denver back to London.
Okay.
So they let them go on over there from there so that they could, get with the time and practice and prepare and all that stuff. So that was nice. Anyway, it didn't do them any favors. I think it kind of bogged them down a little bit. The score was 13-11. It was ugly, like I said. But defense travels. They racked up 9 sacks and 7 tackles for loss. That's crazy. That's crazy. Justin Fields, that had to be a nightmare for him. Right now, their defense leads the league in sacks with 30, which is 10 more than the next closest team. They're 5th in yards against and 3rd in points against. That's a tough ass D right there. That's a tough D. I love my Giants. I really do. And I want them to look good, but I got to pick Denver to win.
I do believe that Good Morning Football had Denver's safety on, so he's doing some bang up stuff out there for the.
Their whole secondary is tough. It's young, fast, and hard hitting.
I tell you. Okay. Giants at Broncos, 9.6 favors the Broncos. Ben, against his heart, is going to go with the Broncos. All righty. Packers at Cardinals. Bias plus score of 2.5 favors the Packers, Benny. They're going to go into Arizona with a 2.5 bias plus in their favor. They might need a little more than that. They're going to have to play some ball.
They're going to have to turn it up, man. They really are. They're 3-1-1. I don't know. So, you'll notice when I'm giving out these records, there's going to be a couple teams that seem like they didn't play that many games. That's because they had the bye weeks already. The Pack did beat the Bengals in the I'm calling this one the Josh Jacobs flu game.
Oh, yeah.
27-18. He threw up a couple of times during the game.
Did he?
But he had 179 yards and 2 touchdowns on 23 touches. The boy went to work. He went to work. Now I keep waiting for this offense to really, really take off. I keep looking at this plethora of receivers that Jordan Love has, and I'm like, dude, with a running game like that, you should be able to throw the ball anywhere you want to, anytime you want to. Their play action game should be magnificent, but it ain't quite there yet. But I'm thinking it's going to get there. The only really big offensive game they had was the 40-40 tie with Dallas. So, again, I'm still waiting for that. Now, Kyler Murray's still out with a sprained foot. Jacoby Brissett will start again this week after leading the Cardinals in a back and forth battle with the Colts that they eventually lost. Whether it's Murray or Brissett, and I must say that Jacoby Brissett looked pretty good. I don't know how old this guy is, but I know he's been around a long time. He's the same guy that got the punctured lung, remember? When he was getting
Yeah.
a shot when he played for the Chargers. Yeah. he looked damn good in that game. He almost pulled that thing out against the Colts. But you know what? I want to take the Cardinals on this game, but I just don't think they have it defensively. Packers have too many weapons, and the Cardinals aren't great stopping the run, and Josh Jacobs is on a little bit of a heater here. So I'm going to take the Packers.
Going with the bias. Going with the Packers. All right, Benny. Say it with me now. The Commanders at the Cowboys. Bias plus score 5.5 favors the Commanders, Benny.
Big time NFC East. Commanders 3-2. Cowboys 2-3-1. Doesn't get much even more even than that. Commanders took an L at home to the Chicago Bears. I know it hurt them. I'm sure I picked them in that game. I don't know.
They were favored.
I was a little stunned.
They were favored,
Yeah,
by the bias.
yeah. I was a little stunned on that one. I wasn't ready for that one. But as I said before, when I was talking about the Bears, they are looking better. Caleb is looking better. They earned it. They earned the win on that one. And again, well, we'll talk about that later. But anyway, Commanders have not been able to string two wins together yet this season. They win one, they lose one, they win one, they lose
Really?
one. Yes, they haven't put two wins together yet. And they continue to turn the ball over, just like they did on Sunday. And if they keep on doing that, they're going to have a really tough time. Now, the Cowboys lost the Rico Dowdell revenge game. Buckle up to the Panthers 30-27 in Carolina. It's pretty obvious by now that moving the ball and scoring points is not an issue for Dallas. But stopping opposing offenses truly is an issue for Dallas. So, with Dallas being home and the Commanders kind of licking their wounds, Jaden Daniels getting a little funny with the ball. McLaurin's not back yet. I'm going to take the Cowboys on this one. I'm going against who's got the bias? I'm sorry.
I do believe that the bias is had by the Commanders.
Okay, well, I'm going against the bias, then I'm going to take the Cowboys.
What happened to Debo?
I don't know. Didn't he play?
Like he wasn't there in the second half of that game.
I don't know.
I didn't see any of the end arounds and all the good stuff that Debo does.
Right.
So, okay, not quite sure what's going on there. 5.5 favoring the Commanders. You're going to go with the Cowboys. All right.
He's got a heel injury.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Falcons at 49ers. Bias plus score of 6.1 favors the Falcons. Now, other than Jonathan Taylor, Falcons might have the next best running back in the league.
Well, I don't know about next best. I think when God said I'm going to make a running back, he didn't make Jonathan Taylor. Maybe he did the next day. He made Bijan Robinson the first day. But anyway, Falcons are 3-2, 49ers are 4-2. 49ers will be home. That'll be a good thing for them because they're going to need it. But anyway, Falcons speak. Here we go. Michael Penix. He's shown he can lead the Atlanta offense, that's for sure, especially with continued improvement by Drake London, who's his top receiver, and the commanding ground game led by Bijan Robinson. And it turns out we were going back and forth about his name, Bijan or Bijan. He don't really care what people say. They keep asking him, he goes, oh, it could be Bijan, it could be Bijan. He doesn't care what you call him. So I don't know what's right, what's wrong, but I know if it doesn't matter to him, it doesn't matter to me. I like Bijan, so that's what I'm going to call him. Now, what makes them really dangerous, though, besides Penix getting better, Drake London looking really good, and Bijan looking wonderful as usual, is their defense. The defense is emerging. It's a hard-nosed group, And right now, they're fifth in points against and first in yards against. That makes them a really, really tough defense to deal with. They don't take the ball away a lot, but they make teams struggle to score and move the ball. And that's a big deal, especially for a team that has an offense with a guy like Bijan Robinson on it, who can keep the ground game going, eat up time of possession, and punch in big, long touchdown runs. The Niners, however, got rocked on the road in Tampa Bay and lost their second best. I'm sorry, not their second best. They lost the second of their two best defensive players. Obviously, Bosa's already gone, and now Fred Warner's out. And that ankle thing was pretty ugly. I didn't see it, but they had a picture and I kind of saw it. And the way the players were acting when it happened is like his foot should have been going that way, but it was going that way or something. It's crazy. But anyway, Mac Jones is banged up right now. He's got a knee and he's got an oblique injury. I'm not sure how close Brock Purdy is to coming back. Again, injury reports come out tomorrow. We'll see who's going to be starting for the Niners. Thank goodness for Christian McCaffrey, but you got to ask yourself, how much load can this guy continue to carry? He's having a great year for me in fantasy. I love him, but I know it's getting rough out there. Hopefully, Juwan Jennings will be back 100%. Ricky Pearsall should be practicing tomorrow. I'm going to have to double check on that. So things will get better. Problem is, I don't think they're going to get better defensively. And that being the case, I'm taking Atlanta to go into Santa Clara and beat them boys. Going with the Falcons.
Well, look, we all understand, my Niners are up against it. They're up against it. Hey, I saw a clip. They had Warner Fred home already after the surgery. I was like, geez, they kicked him out the hospital quick.
Yeah, you don't stand for surgery.
I mean, hey, look, you got all that money. You can at least get a few days. Gee, me Christmas. But okay.
Don't need to.
Yep. Well, one thing we got a kicker. That guy's on a heater, man. Pinheiro.
Yeah, the kicker's pretty good. Eddie Pinheiro, right?
Yeah.
Got him off the couch.
Got him off the couch.
Yeah, he was home. He wasn't playing for nobody.
That was a pickup right there.
Yes, indeed.
That was a pickup.
He's used to be with the Bears.
Right.
Yeah.
And one thing, I'll mention it real quick before we move on. If I'm not mistaken, this is the Sunday night game, Benny.
Okay.
And there is a few articles out there, a few things being reported where they're saying, why are some of these quarterbacks that couldn't make it in one place thriving in the next place? We can talk about that later, but that's a question now that's being bandied around in the sports circles a little bit. So
a lot of different answers to that depending on the person and where they went.
Yeah, but it seems to be happening. And with my Niners coming in with Mac, I can't even call him mac and cheese no more because he's balling. What can I tell you? All right.
Yeah, I just know he took a lot of shots, man. He
didn't look as good. I'll be quite honest with you. Not in this past one. So
yeah, he's playing hurt, really.
Yeah. All right. So you're gonna go with the bias, going with the Falcons.
Yes.
And then you had that question, Benny, about Monday night doubleheaders. Well, you got another one.
Oh wow. Okay. I mean, it's not like I don't like
the Lions.
It's just they make you choose which game you want to watch, unless you like flicking back and forth, which I don't. But
yeah,
okay.
I do it when don't go to a commercial because if so, I'm flicking.
Yeah, right. That's pretty much how I do it too.
Buccaneers at Lions, bias plus score of 7.1 favors the Lions, Benny. Them Bucks is winning. They kind of remind me of the Chiefs last year. They're winning and winning, but the margins are small. You know.
Yeah, the margins are small. The difference is they're rallying when they need to rally. If they fall behind, they do what every fan prays for. Oh my God, just put together one drive, give me a field goal wrench, and they do it week after week after week after week. They keep on doing it. They're not winning on flukes. They're not blocking field goals and somebody fumbles and they, you know what I mean? They're just banging out wins. They're banging them out. But anyway, as I mentioned before, when talking about the Bucks and the Niners game coming up, they took care of, or not coming up, the Bucks who played the Niners last week.
Right.
Niners are banged up, but now the Bucks have to travel to Detroit and face the Lions, who have to be pissed off after that loss to the Chiefs. Because I mean, they know who the Chiefs are. They've seen the Chiefs. They've looked at the film. They see them getting better each week, just like we do. But they were the Detroit Lions. You know what I mean? That offense wasn't supposed to get handled like that. Now, I can't say enough about the year that Baker Mayfield's having. I declared he's my pick for MVP last week, and I'm not changing that. I'm not getting off of that. Just like a lot of teams, the Bucks have had to deal with a lot of injuries, especially to their offense. All three of their starting wide receivers are hurt, and their number one running back is hurt. But Baker just keeps on winning with backups. He threw a touchdown to a guy. I was like, who? Never heard of these guys. Guys making tippy toe catches on the sideline. I'm like, I'm waiting for the dude to turn around so I can see the name on the back of his shirt. I have no idea who these cats are. But it's like the other guys aren't even missing. That's Baker, man. Baker is having himself a season. Now, last week I said the Chiefs DC John Spagnuolo would have to dig really deep to figure out a way to deal with the offensive machine that is the Detroit Lions. Well, guess what? The best 1-2, this is in my estimation, the best 1-2 running back combination in the league, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, got slowed down to a crawl, and the Lions lost at every counting stat in the game. I went back, I looked at the team stats side by side. Every counting stat, the Chiefs were better. First downs, third down, third down efficiency, passing yards, rushing yards,
Wow.
penalties, you name it. Every single one, the Chiefs were better. That's crazy. That being said, I think them Lions are wounded. I think the Bucks go up to Detroit indoors, not having to worry about any weather, wind, nothing. Perfect scenario. I like the Bucks to beat these boys.
Ah,
I
okay.
like the Bucks to beat these boys. I'm going against the bias, and I'm going to take the Buccaneers.
Ooh, okay. Going against the bias. That's a whole touchdown favoring the Lions there. Yeah, the Lions have to find themselves again. And again, they lost their offensive coordinator, right? So
Yep.
kind of like the Eagles, where they lost their offensive coordinator and things aren't running quite as smoothly as they did last year. But we are going into week 7, so maybe these coordinators are starting to, get their feet planted a little bit more and realize what they got going. So we shall see. We shall see. But in the meantime, going against the bias, going with the Buccaneers. All right. Monday night number 2, Benny. I actually got it up there in the picture. Monday night number 2, Monday night number 1. So I remember that I was forgetting to do that. Texans at Seahawks in the bias plus score of 4. Favorites those Texans. AFC, NFC.
So remember when we were doing the power rankings and I said Houston I expect them to falter. Well, I really, really do. They're coming off the bye. Last time we saw them, they were destroying the Ravens, but who hasn't done that lately? Seahawks will be at home. They're 4-2. They're looking more and more formidable as Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith and Jigba continue to gash secondaries across the league, and their defense surges to the top of the rankings. Tied for fourth in interceptions with 7, tied for second in sacks with 20, and they are first in defensive touchdowns. They've got 2 of them. I think one's a scoop and score and one's a pick 6. I'm taking the Seahawks, no doubt in my mind. I'm just not feeling the Texans. And Seahawks will be at home, and they're really feeling it. Darnold's on fire, and Jackson Smith and Jigba is arguably. Remember, I was saying Puka was top 3. That's why I said top 3 and not top 1, because Jackson Smith and Jigba's right up there with him.
And they have Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, he's starting to heat up too.
Yeah. Nothing like Cooper Kupp, man. I'm telling you. That's just weird that they would let him go, you know. Tua, division rival, much less. Apparently, the Steelers coach don't like that the Bengals let
Not at all. Yo, he was very serious about that, man. He said maybe they know something I don't know. He said, but
the whole time he's talking, I keep saying we are talking about Flacco, right? I mean,
yeah, but I understand what he's saying. He's like, from their point, he's trying to understand it from their point of view. You got this quarterback, and you brought him in and trusted him to be the starter for your team. That's got cast-offs and rookies behind him, because you thought he was better than all of them and he could lead the way for you. Then you trade him in the division, and you didn't have to a team who needed a quarterback badly. You don't help the opposition. Let them struggle. Let them struggle. That's like in fantasy. Guy offers me a great trade, right? But the guy he needs from me, it would be a good trade. But the guy he needs from me is going to help him like a lot. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Let them struggle.
Buddy. Flounder away.
That's right.
Well, Benny, as usual, as we finish up the regular or the weekly Bias Plus reports, there's usually one piece of business that we always have to make sure that we take care of, and then make sure we celebrate the Bias Plus Buster of the Week, those New York Football Giants. With a Bias Plus score 35.4.
At the expense of
the Philadelphia Eagles. Yes.
Bro, let me tell you something. I got to say this. People, when you go to the gym, a lot of people wear sports inspired gear. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, you see Eagle shirts all over the place. All kinds of Eagle t-shirts, division winner, Eagles playing the Eagle stuff, old crusty old Super Bowl t-shirts and stuff like that. So you're supposed to rep your team. I get it. So I rep my team. I catch a lot of flack. When I got in the gym that day, brother, all I did was walk through the gym. I didn't say nothing to nobody. I just walked. Every inch of that gym. From corner to corner.
You just walk through it. Just make sure they all saw you.
Like, what's up? What's up? How you doing? How's it going? Good workout? Good.
Oh, well, look. As a matter of fact, remember I said it was household against household? See, the
Yeah,
household ruled. Both teams.
yeah,
Yeah, Giants and the Buccaneers. You
yep.
know? So, well, okay, what can I tell you? I'll edit some of it. I don't know if I want to edit all of it. I'm only gonna leave just a little bit,
All right.
you know. You know when you walk through the gym, okay, right there.
Just told him to take it back his happy birthday.
You cannot take back his happy birthday now.
No, don't be that way.
I tell you, these Eagle fans, man. I tell you. All right. So Ben and Barry on football. Let me make a mention to make sure that you not only click the subscribe button, but make sure you hit the notification bell. I was reminded by one of our close friends, Mr. Burton, who said, I said, you've been watching the show, and he said, no, he said, I lost my phone and I don't get any of my alerts. So he went back and he checked, and he hadn't hit the bell to get an alert for
Right.
when we actually put out a show. So I want to make sure everybody hits that bell so you get the alerts. We know we come out around the same time, usually early Thursdays with the show. But once it's there, you want to make sure that you're on top of it. And always visit www.benandbarryonfootball.com. All right? That's all for me, Benny.
I'm done.
All right, peace.
Later.